At the center of the world's largest mosque stands a simple cube-shaped building draped in a black silk. Every single day, nearly 2 billion people across the globe turn towards the exact same structure when they pray. Millions travel thousands of miles just to stand in His presence, while some circle it 7 times, also known as Tawaf, and some weep the moment as they first catch the sight of it. Yet, for many outside the Islamic faith, it remains an enigma. We must first answer the most fundamental question: what is the Kaaba? Is it a temple, or a shrine, or a sacred tomb? Or is it something much deeper than that? And why does it really matter for nearly a quarter of humanity? The building is located in the city of Mecca, resting inside the vast sanctuary complex known as Masjid al-Haram or the Grand Mosque. The word Kaaba comes from the Arabic root word meaning cube, and if you look at it structurally, it is exactly that. It's a stone building standing approximately 13 meters or 43 feet high, constructed from the local granite. To a viewer accustomed to the architectural brilliance of the world's great cathedrals or temples, the Kaaba appears remarkably simple. There are no towering golden domes. You don't see any marble statues around. You don't see any decorative exterior walls. Instead, it is draped in a heavy 670 kilogram silk cloth, also known as kiswa, elegantly embroidered with the verses from the Quran in real gold and silver threads. Yet, this modest structure is the ultimate geographic anchor for the Islamic world. 5 times a day, every practicing Muslim participates in a synchronized global alignment. Whether a person is standing on a prayer mat in a quiet room in Chicago, or a busy street corner in London, or a rural field in Indonesia, they must face the exact direction of this cube. This sacred direction is known as Qibla. But this global focus frequently leads to a significant misunderstanding among the outside observers, and they have very valid question. Because millions bow towards the building, many assume that Muslims worship the Kaaba itself, and the Islam claims that it's a monotheist religion. It's not right. In reality, Islamic theology strictly rejects this idea. The foundational pillar of Islam is absolute monotheism, the belief that God alone is divine and worthy of worship. And the Kaaba itself possesses no inherent supernatural power. It does not hear prayers and it cannot grant blessings. Instead, think of the Kaaba as a cosmic focal point. It's a physical tool designed to create absolute organizational and psychological unity without a single universally agreed upon direction. What do you think? What will happen? Everyone facing in a different direction during prayer, and it will be a total chaos. The building itself does not receive the worship. Muslims don't worship to the building. Muslims don't worship through the building. The building itself merely unifies the worshippers. To understand the cultural weight of the Kaaba, one must observe the living rituals that take place around every second of the day. Throughout the year, millions of travel arrive for a spiritual visit called Umrah. And once a year during a specific Islamic month, that crowd swells into millions for the Hajj, the mandatory pilgrimage that every financially and physically able Muslim must perform at least once in their lifetime. The defining ritual of this journey is called as Tawaf, and pilgrims must walk around the Kaaba exactly 7 times in a continuous counterclockwise circle. To an outside observer, this vast swirling mass of humanity looks mesmerizing and almost hypnotic.
It's incredible.
A truly powerful sight.
But from the sociological perspective, the ritual serves as a massive societal equalizer. How does that happen? So, before entering the sacred grounds, every male pilgrim must strip away their everyday clothing and put on the ihram, which is just two simple unstitched sheets of white cloth. Women wear simple, modest dresses devoid of jewelry or any adornments. In this courtyard, all external markers of human status are utterly erased. A wealthy tech billionaire from Silicon Valley stands shoulder to shoulder with a penniless farmer from a developing nation. They wear the exact same clothes, perform the exact same movements, and repeat the exact same prayers. In the shadow of the cube, nationality, race, and social hierarchy just simply disappear and replaced by what? Replaced by a visual demonstration of total human equality. While the building itself is made of uniform granite, there is one specific feature that draws intense fascination from both the pilgrims and the historians alike. Embedded into an eastern corner of the structure is al-hajar al-Aswad, also known as the Black Stone. And during the Tawaf, the pilgrims attempts to kiss, touch, or simply point towards the stone as they pass by. And to a secular or a non Muslim viewer, this ritual can look suspiciously like the worship of a physical object, which goes against the teachings of Islam of being a monotheist religion. To understand why this is not the case, the historian point to a famous statement made by Omar ibn al-Khattab, the second leader of the Islamic community after the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Standing before the artifact, he publicly addressed it. I know well that you are merely a stone who can neither benefit nor harm. Had I not seen the Prophet kiss you, I would not have kissed you. For Muslims, touching the stone is just an act of pure historical emulation and continuity. It is a living bridge across time, allowing a modern man to touch the exact same spot touched by their prophet 14 centuries ago. Over its long history, the stone has survived catastrophic fires, floods, and even theft, causing it to break into several fragments. Today, those remaining pieces are preserved and held together inside a protective silver frame. It is a precise geological origin remains a captivating scientific mystery. Because it cannot be removed or subjected to invasive chemical drilling, the researchers can only speculate. The prevailing scientific hypothesis suggests that it could be a rare meteorite fragment or perhaps a unique form of impact glass or tektite formed when an ancient asteroid struck the Arabian desert thousands of years ago. But within Islamic tradition, its value is entirely symbolic, a heavenly marker placed on earth to signal the boundary of the sacred sanctuary. So, up to this point, we have looked at the Kaaba as it exists today, a pristine, highly organized, monotheistic center for a global religion. But the modern reality is only the final chapter of a deeply complex, turbulent story that spans thousands of years. Islamic tradition holds that Kaaba's foundations are ancient, built by the Prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael as the very first house dedicated exclusively to the worship of one God. But on the other hand, the secular historians agree that the Kaaba was already a highly revered ancient sanctuary centuries before the birth of Islam. However, the path between Ibrahim's monotheistic temple and the modern Grand Mosque was anything but peaceful. To truly understand this building, we have to peel back the layers of time. We have to travel back into a harsh pre Islamic Arabian peninsula. We have to explore how a sanctuary, originally dedicated to a single unseen deity, gradually transformed into something entirely unrecognizable. How does simply a stone structure become the pagan capital of Arabia, completely surrounded and filled with 360 different physical idols, tribal totems, and statues? And how did a single man born in Mecca completely upend this pagan system to reclaim the building for his faith? But its story is just a beginning. In our next episode, we leave the modern world behind. we journey deep into the ancient past, into a barren, forgotten desert valley to uncover the sacred narratives. In chapter 2, the origins of the Kaaba.